I remember writing ever since I was a little girl. Like I think my very first poem, my one of my best friends has it. And it has to do with like me rhyming ice and nice and I don't even know mice. So it was very simple.
My name is Victoria Lopez, and I always identified as a writer. I always introduced myself as a writer, as a storyteller.
To start off, I'm going to give you guys an emotion, and I just want that to guide what you write.
My history with poetry and creative writing comes from songwriting. I do a lot of music, and so I think my creative side with poetry comes through music.
Over time, it just became kind of like an expression, a form of expression for a lot of emotions. So it was a lot of unpacking of my emotions.
Lavender bee snarls near the melancholy blue trails, staring into my eyes, staring into my heart filled with melancholy colors. Lavender beast wants to attack and spill crimson blood upon the sometimes green leaves that fall before the spring erupts for the sun.
First, let me study it and mull it over. Let me roll it around in my head before I speak about that idea. I strongly believe that once we start speaking something, it falls into existence. It comes into existence. And that's where I found myself writing poetry.
Essentially, I think I hosted a workshop once, or a poetry night, like just one time, and it was myself. And I really wanted to do it with other people, and I got connected with Sonali.
Abby came to me because she needed some advice on how to host a workshop that had poetry in it. And since I did art workshops, she came to me.
Sonali was like, hey, I know someone who wants to do the exact same thing, and that's where Victoria came into the mix.
I was appointed the City of McAllen Poet Laureate for the year of 2022. I was excited.
Hi, my name is Victoria Lopez, and I am excited to be jumping onto this quick little video to talk about a 3-part poetry project that will be launching here at the McAllen Creative Incubator next Thursday, called Unfolded, the Poetry Project.
I created this meeting with Abby and Victoria, and we chatted, and when we get to Victoria's office, she's like, guys, I have a full-on plan. I just need help executing it.
So she introduced us both. And one thing led to another. That conversation just like sparked something in all of us. And yeah, that's kind of how Unfolded was born.
I really wanted to work with like-minded individuals. I wanted to pull people together so that we can relate, so that we could resonate, but also so we could practice.
I stole the book from my pastor. He said to give it back. There I go, had to run faster, jumping into cul-de-sacs. Made it home, now I'm the master. I'm writing eulogies. Foolery came from the bottom. This isn't new to me.
She wanted to do something fundamental that would engage the community and get poetry out, into the community. So we ended up helping her, and that's where we started.
And once Unfolded started, that's when I realized there was like a lot of people who were craving that poetry.
There's this just natural beauty inside of us, and I wanted to be able to show through poetry, through my words, through my writing, what I may not have been expressing in my interpersonal relationships.
Mi cuerpo, la madre tierra, Pachamama, mis raíces, los brincos juguetones del amaranto, los cantos de las urracas, las sombras de la montaña, protegida lo estoy.
As a writer and editor, like that's what I do, and it's a very flexible position, and it's allowed me to kind of juggle the two. It's a lot of work in both ends, but I think that it's helped me kind of balance it out a little bit.
I think you always have to look at everything as you're subsidizing your time. I am a person worthy of investment. I am a business person. I have a career. And I am successful at my career because I have a creative outlet. I have a form of self-expression.
If I don't write things down on my calendar, I will forget. So the way I personally do it is I have my Google Calendar like to the T of like what I'm doing, when I'm doing it.
I think just finding time is knowing that it's worthwhile. Sure, we're gonna get tired. We're gonna wake up and wanna be a little slower that day, that's fine, have some couch time. But we're always creating something. So if it is something that's in your heart, you will find the time to do it.
My only hope is for it to keep growing and for this community to keep blossoming into something greater than how we started. And I've already seen that happen with like myself, Victoria, Sonali being the founders. We have a board, and I think that's like super exciting.
We hope that we continue to listen to the people who come to our workshops. They want to know how to ask a question? Let's do a workshop. You want to know how to write a haiku? Let's do it. You want to read each other's poetry? Awesome. You know, you want me to teach something I don't know about? Let me learn about it. How about you teach us? It's really just a group of people who are all after the same thing.
So anything that's in their head, in their hearts, in their minds, anything that's clouding them or anything they want to share.
The echoes of booted feet and the scratches of pen on paper flood out through the doors to the unwashed masses, mouths agape in a silent protest, silent because the ears of the old, the sick, the crazed, and the evil have been ripped off in defiance of the people.
Hopefully just expanding, growing, becoming a bigger community of people, whether that be in the valley or outside of the valley. I do want us to eventually become some sort of like nationwide poetry organization. Like that's a very big dream.
Unfolded Poetry Project is officially a nonprofit organization. So we are looking for contributions, we are looking for sponsors, we are looking for continued community support, and really, how can we go further?
We have a lot of things in store. More importantly, we have a second book coming up that we're going to be sharing with the public later this year or early next year. But we also have some workshops that we're having at the library and at Quinta Mazatlan.
Recently, we've been centered in McAllen, but we hope to expand to Edinburgh and go to Brownsville or other spots, you know, like take our group to different spots in the valley so they know like, hey, like you are also a part of this community.
It's a really special thing knowing that you've curated a community. You don't get to handpick who comes to workshops, but what you do get to do is welcome them. And I think that's the special part.
I hope that no matter what or where we go, where we expand to, that we continue to represent our home and represent each other and just represent our mission.
More than anything, I think our creativity is going to take us wherever we end up, and where we end up is where we're meant to be. So we're looking forward to continuing to push our mission of inspiring individuality through the practice of writing, speaking, and listening.